Okay, so Be'ezras Hashem, we are continuing within our deviation in the inner world of redemption, and we're continuing to speak about the feast of the Levyason, the Sudasa de Levyason. We introduced it with the attempt at a beginning last week, and we're going to now continue to try and extend the parameters of the sugya spread out upon nothing. And what we touched upon ultimately was that the Levyason and the Suda of the Levyason represents the ability to have das, to be machave in one's mind to the innermost point in front of them at that moment. Laman das kol ha'aretz ki Hashem hu ha'elokim. That when I draw down the light of Hashem from above, down to the Teva, which is Elokim, through my mind, through my das, so at that point, I'm mechaber Shemayim and Aretz, and I'm megala milsa on the highest point imaginable, which is Reishad Lo Yada, which is the secret of Haaretz Hadom Ragli, that this land itself, the lowest imaginable expression of human experience, the earth of it all, the afar of it all, it's specifically there that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is coming to be megala, the Even Ma'asu Habonim Haisel Roshpina, and how above and below are fundamentally connected through the innermost point of Das. And from our lower level of Das, we open ourselves up to the higher level of Das, which is Das Elyon, which is the recognition of the Sha'ashu'e in Sof, which is the reflection that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is ever present at every moment in our lives, moving up and down, flowing in and out, the revelation and concealment, all, both, always moving towards the highest revelation imaginable. That's the Suda of Das, that's the Suda of the Levyasan. And we hinted to the fact that we're going to discuss this week, from whence does this Suda arrive? What's the tachlis of this Suda? Where is the Suda going to take place? And how are we going to move forward? Now, we'll start with a Maisa, a Milsa de B'dichusa, Koidem Halimud, a joke, which is the secret of Tzimtzum prior to the Kav. The Tzimtzum is the joke, because we know ultimately that it's impossible for Tzimtzum to actually be real, in spite of the fact that it's impossible for Tzimtzum not to be real. This is the setup of the joke of Tzimtzum, as Rabbi Nachman ben Fega expresses it fundamentally clear in Torah Samach Dalet in the first volume of Likutei Maran. So the Milsa de B'dichusa, the Badach, the secret of Badchana de Malka, of making a joke out of reality, that's the secret of the Tzimtzum, where we're meant to take the Tzimtzum seriously as if it exists. We know it's Lav Kipshuto, but we have to pretend that there's an element of Kipshuto within that secret of Lav Kipshuto. That's the joke. And then the Gilui of the Kav, the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to allow that infinite light of infinitude to descend back down in a somehow impossible measured way, which is a secret of hope, of moving from within limitation towards that which exceeds limitation entirely, where levels continue to exist in the face of the unlimited itself. That's the punchline of the joke. That's the secret of the Kav. And that Kave Kavisi al Hashem, and that every moment in this worldliness and this experience prior to the Gilui of the Sfeich of the Levyasan, everything that felt like Yegia and difficult and concealed is going to have been revealed to be fundamentally contained within the Das of the Suda of the Levyasan. That's the secret of the Kav. Kave el Hashem yachlifu koyach v'kave el Hashem. And so the joke we'll start off with is a joke that we've spoken about in the past. It's from a very funny type of tzaddik, funny in the way of V'tizchak Di'amacharon, or Simcha Bunim of Pshischa. Again, even the name itself, Rav Simcha Bunim, the expression of Simcha, which comes by way of the Nun Sha'arei Bina. He was a pharmacist prior to becoming a tzaddik, or he was a tzaddik even when he was a pharmacist, understanding the need of reviving the hearts of Klal Yisrael with the Torah Chadasha Me'iti Tisei, with the quintessence of the light of the Yid HaKadosh, the Chozeh Lublin, the Heilige Magid of Mezrich, the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, down to Rav Simcha Bunim. And the story goes that Rav Simcha Bunim was walking along a boardwalk close to the ocean, and there was a commotion on the beach because there was somebody who was apparently drowning in the ocean. They were unable to gain their strength and regain the ability to sturdy themselves upon the water, and their head was submerging. Again, Klal Yisrael is referred to very often as a drowning individual. The Balasulam, the Hillel Balasulam, says that Klal Yisrael was drowning. The Arizal came along to try and lift them up by the area underneath their shoulders, by the area above their neck, to speak to the head. And the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh came along to lift them up underneath their shoulders by the area of the heart itself. Because sometimes when the drowning gets more intense, you need a quicker way of being saved, and that's by speaking directly to the heart. Dabru Alev Yerushalayim, V'kiru Eleha, that by speaking to the heart of Yerushalayim, we uncover the secret of Nachamu, which is Gematria Yitzchak, and the secret of laughter of the Levyasan, as we're going to see. But Rav Simcha Bunim is walking along the boardwalk, and there's a commotion, and he sees a person drowning, being completely submerged within the watery depths. And at that point, Rav Simcha Bunim kind of caused the commotion to pause for a moment, and he screams out, Drisha Shalom Lahel Levyasan. He tells this individual who is about to drown that please send my best regards to the Levyason. And instead of continuing to drown, the person tried with his last gasp of air to laugh as a result of the tzaddik making a joke. And by laughing, he came to realize that there was a doubled expression of breath, an inhale and an exhale, no matter how short. And once he realized he was able to inhale and exhale no matter how short, he realized that he had the capacity of drawing breath back into himself. As the Heilige Ramchal writes, that the Iker Pagam is that we believe that there is no trufa. But if we realize that one can always hope, then Mamela, one always has a medicine, and there's never a place of losing hope. And by uncovering the hope towards the next breath, this person began to laugh, laugh, laugh until the drowning fell apart and he was able to pull himself back up into safety. So Drisha Shalom Levyason is the secret, the skoika of the Levyason, the laughter of the Levyason, the intensity of the laughter that comes about through the secret of the Levyason, the laughter of das and das of laughter, the severity of taking things so seriously that I know I have to laugh at them. That das is what's referred to as the simcha and the chadvasa of the Levyason. And so we see how Rav Simcha Bunim was mamish able to be mahapich misa tachayim in the secret of Tchias HaMesim, which is the Suda of the Levyason. And so first and foremost, let's look at two Gemaras. First and foremost, let's look at the Gemara in Shabbos Pei Tes Amud Aleph, one of my favorite Makomos in Chazal, because it speaks about what's going to happen at the end of days. And what's going to happen when it comes time that Klal Yisrael are going to need a profound level of schus, the schus avos that we enjoy in every moment. Every moment of our experiences is just a reflection of the schus avos and the imahos, of the three avos and the four imahos, the secret of v'yidgu larov. Dag is Dalet and Gimel, Gimel avos and Dalet imahos, Gimel tzirufei havaya, Eke and Dalet tzirufei havaya, in the secret of the balancing of that relationship between 3 and 4, the matzos and the kosos. And we attach ourselves to the Avos HaKadoshim in order to draw down the redemption and that Ahavas Olam Tavi Lachem. And that the Beis HaMikdash is going to be built b'schus the Avos HaKadoshim. And b'schus our reliance upon Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come to the Avos HaKadoshim and it's going to say that your children are in dire straits. There's a need for redemption. There's a need to awaken that ancient love, that schus. Give me a reason. Give me a reason. And Avram Avinu says, I don't have a reason, but don't blame me for the issue. It's not my responsibility in one way or another. Obviously, Avram Avinu had a cheshbon meduyak of how to be matzdik the din of Klal Yisrael by way of just ignoring it, of being masiach das from it completely, saying, lo Allah alibi, I don't want to deal with it. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to Yaakov and he says the same thing. I didn't cause this fire. I didn't do this. It's not by me that you're going to find the extra push. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come to Yitzchak Avinu. Yitzchak Avinu, the harshest of all the avos. Pachad Yitzchak, who doesn't move externally, who reduces himself and doubles down upon his inner strength to cultivate a sense of enoughness on the inside. With that grin of la'asid lavo, being born in an act of laughter, being born after hopelessness, a tischak liyom macharon. Having died by the Akedah and coming back down alive down the mountain in the secret of what the Chidush Arim says, the source of all laughter is the paradox of all things, which is to be alive and dead at once, to have an neshama and a body at once. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come to the most severe, apparently, of the tzaddikim, of the avos, and he's going to say, Yitzchak, your children have messed up. They need somebody to come and account for them. And what Yitzchak Avinu is going to say, he's going to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's going to say, Rebbeinu Shalom, my children, you're telling me that they're my children as if they're not your children as well? They're your children as well. And once they're my children and your children, the responsibility does not rest on me alone to redeem them, but rather let's split it half-half. Why is that split necessary? Because that's the secret of Yitzchak Avinu. Chatzi kuf. Kuf is klipa. Kuf is something that looks too strong. But by breaking it down, chatzi kuf, revealing the nun and the nun, the two nuns that are vayibin saw Aaron, the secret of the transition from concealment through concealment into revelation, those two nuns make up the 100. And so Chatzi Kuf, Yitzchak Avinu says, let's split it, because that's how we're mamtik the dinim. By instead of looking at them in their one fell swoop and the overwhelmingness of them all, break it down into bite-sized manageable pieces and deal with the tiny pebbles that are thrown and see how all of the pebbles that are thrown comprise eventually the big boulder, instead of thinking that I have to learn how to deal with the big boulder. It's impossible to deal with the big boulder, as the Vilna Gaon points out, as Rabbi Nachman points out. But ultimately, the Eitzah Ye'utza of the Chachamim of the Melech are that nobody said you have to throw the boulder at once. Break the boulder into a million little pebbles and throw those little pebbles at Klal Yisrael. And that's the secret of chewing down the maror and grinding down the Ketores, Dakim and Adaka. The secret of Hamtakas Adinim B'Sharashim, through the teeth themselves, grinding through the Lamed Beis and the Sivos Chachma. that ability to refine the problem until it looks like it's something manageable for me. And Yitzchak Avinu says, split it, and then split it again, and then split it again, and we'll find that the responsibility is not so much, and we can handle it. And at that point, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to bring the Geula, and at that point, Klal Yisrael are going to look at Yitzchak Avinu, and they're going to say, Ki ata Avinu. Ki ata Avinu, you, Yitzchak Avinu, you are the one finally to reveal the Koyach HaAmiti of Nishmas Yisrael, and you're the one who's bringing about the Geula. Now that's wonderful because Yitzchak is Yitzchak, and Yitzchak is the Heilige Or HaOros, but nevertheless, that's somewhat surprising because Yitzchak is Gevura. Yitzchak is Simtzum, Yitzchak is severity, Yitzchak is Bina, Yitzchak is concealment, Yitzchak is Yeser Choshech Sisro, Yitzchak is Hasaga B'derech Shlila, the impossibility of grasping something by dint of the infinitude of it all that shatters the capacity of the mind. And I could only know something by way of the negation of the possibility of knowing it. The secret of Emunah, the secret of taking a look twice at something. As we know by Yitzchak, Avimelech comes to Yitzchak and he sees Yitzchak has this Ashirus Muflages of Meya Sha'arim, the doubling of the Nun Shari Bina, both on the right side and the left side, the secret of Chachma and Bina together. And he looks at him, he says, I understand why Avraham was wealthy. Avram represented Chesed, but you represent Din. How could it be that you're wealthy? Where's the bracha here? Why should I want to make a treaty with you? Zak the Heligar of Simcha Bunim and the Sod Yisharim brings this down. And Zak the Heligar of Yosef Cairo, and he brings it down from the Magid, is that Re'ei Ra'inu, when Avimelech says that we have truly seen a doubled language of seeing. By Yitzchak Avinu, they both say that when it comes to finding the bracha by Yitzchak, a person has to do a double take. At first glance, it will appear severe. At first glance, it will appear topsy-turvy. At first glance, it will appear frightening in all manners of frighteningness, like it was right before Purim, like it is at any moment, koydem ha'afecha, like it is at any moment right before we overcome the Yetzer, like it is at any moment we choose to push ourselves on to the other side and express more spirituality in this world. There's always a Bahala that precedes. There's always a Bilbul. There's always a Choshech Yeser Sisro. There's always a Marav Tuvcha Shet Safanta L'Recha that comes from the north of negativity and concealment in order to reveal the goodness that rests there. And so Yitzchak Avinu, the Gevura of Yitzchak is the revelation that it's specifically in that place that I'm going to be able to be Mamtik Zayin. And the secret of Hamtakas Adinim B'Sharashim. That Yitzchak Avinu, there's an inner blessing hidden within Yitzchak, which is not only the ability to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the light, in the dark as well, which is one of the kochos of Yitzchak, one of the elements of the Suda of Levyason. But be'emes, it's the ability to transform the dark into the light itself, to transform that which appeared to be separating and concealing and mindless and off the path of avodah and this, that, or the other thing, and all of the hang-ups and the bang-ups and all of the things that we carry with us that make it feel so impossible to cross the finish line over towards redemption itself with the moichin of Hiskabris and Hashem Oiz La'amo Yitain, because of the burdensome task of carrying around every glove that laid us down or cut us till we cried out, right? And all of the reminders and all of the burdensome tasks of memory and failures and this, that, or the other thing, and the unworthiness of it all, of feeling unworthy to behold the face of Mashiach. Yitzchak Avinu comes and he's mamtik that for us. Yitzchak Avinu comes to reveal that if you only learn how to look twice at the reality of what's actually taking place, you'll come to find that not only are you not distant from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but you're closer than you ever imagined yourself to be. And that's the secret of Yitzchak Avinu, who's going to bring about the Geula. That it's Yitzchak, the Gevuros themselves. The Levyason is the Gevuros B'Sheirashim HaElyon, which is yored down into concealment to express itself as if there's something other than God, God forbid. The thing that Moshe Rabbeinu Kavyachol was afraid of looking at when he went into the palace of Paro, until HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to him, Bo el Paro, I'm here already, because Levyason is nothing without me. Concealment is nothing without me. I am concealment, and concealment is me, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Sharish of the Tzimtzum, come find me in the Tzimtzum. Be mamtik the Tzimtzum by itself. Be mamtik mar b'mar. Find the shofar of the kish shofar of Pashut, Kaful, Meshulish, Meruba, perpetually moving through the concealment to overcome it, and then encountering concealment again and overcoming it again, and always growing more and more from within the battles and the wounds in order to come out on the other side. B'yeser se'esu, b'yeser oz, in the secret of the Gevuros of Shimshon Hagibor, who has the capacity of destroying all of the enemies of Klal Yisrael and coming out Baruch Hashemesh. That secret of Kesar Elyon Olav Nikra, the secret of Nazirus, the secret of the hair flowing down, and the secret of everything coming from above to below, and the secret of the Nitzachon Ha'amiti. And so Yitzchak Avinu, we see, is the ability to redeem that which appears to be most concealed just before redemption. And it's specifically Yitzchak Avinu who's going to have the ability of bringing about that Suda. And Yitzchak still doesn't want to make the bracha on the ayin. Yitzchak doesn't want to make the bracha on the ayin. Yitzchak already tasted the ayin hamashumer ba'anavav that David Malka Mashiach is going to give a bracha on. Because when Yaakov Avinu brought the matmoinim, he brought those gifts and he brought the matamim, those pleasantries, the chesed and the gevura and the ability to be mamtik, all of the concealment to the tzaddik. So Yaakov Avinu also had the intuition enough to draw down from the lights of La'asilavo, which is the Yayin Hagonus Ba'anav Mesheshis Mebereshis. And the Heliga Kamana describes in last week's Parsha how it's the secret of being mamtik the Yayin with the Mayim, of drawing the Chasadim of Chachma down into the Gvurus of Bina, to be Megalazain, and the Ikar Ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is Baruch Sha'amar V'haya Ha'olam, and that everything is good, and that it's Toiv Ma'oid, 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 everything is good, and Baruch Sha'amar V'haya Ha'olam, and Hoidu LaHashem Kitov, and Moidim of Shemon Esrei, and Moidim Derabanan, and the ability to say thank you even before the need to say thank you, and to be grateful even before there's something to be grateful for, to taste the nitzachon even within the milchama itself. That secret of Yaakov Avinu knowing to draw down from that yayin hamashum ba'anav mesheshis mebereshis, the hamtakas adinim b'sharashim, wine prior to its emergence from within the grape itself, revelation prior to revelation itself, potential being revealed to be actual, to reveal that all of the tzimtzum and all of the extension of all of the worlds and all of history is ultimately ki'ilu lo yatzaklal and kula kaima kiloi chashiva, just like Yitzchak, who was not afraid of anything because he saw through the illumination of this world. He saw through it. He saw through it by closing his eyes in the secret of the Sagi Nahor. Sagi Nahor, there was too much light, and therefore he had to blind himself to this world. Sagi is Melashon Sag, which is the Giloy of Bina, which is the secret of the Levyason. Yitzchak Avinu teaches us how to see through the concealment of this world and uncover the possibilities of redemption that rest right in front of us in whatever moment of difficulty and absent-mindedness and bilbul hadas we might encounter. That's Yitzchak Avinu. Zot, the Gemara, and Avodah Zarah, Daf Gimel Amud Beis. Daf Gimel Amud Beis, and Gimel is the Spitz number of Avodah Zarah. And so therefore on the Gimel Amud Beis of Avodah Zarah, to try and find the Nekuda Pnimis that could be mamtik, all of the Gimel Klipos, which are going to be Esav, Yishmael, and Erev Rav, to be mamtik, all of those Gimel elements of Avodah Zarah. So we have this incredible Gemara that we're going to see, which discusses the nature of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's day. So Zok the Gemara. In the future, Tanya, Rabbi Yossi Omer, that the nations of the world are going to come in the future and they're going to see the illumination of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world, and they're going to want to transition over to being Jewish. They're going to want to tap into the light of Yiddishkeit. But who said, are we going to receive from them? Are we going to actually allow them to convert? Vahatanya, didn't we already learn in the Brisa? In Makablim Geirim L'Maisa Mashiach. We're not going to be able to receive Geirim, that transition from darkness into light, completely in the days of Mashiach, because everything will be revealed. Just as they didn't receive Geirim in the days of David and Shlomo, because there was a hitznaitzitz of Binyan Beis Hamikdash and the secret of Sihara Ba'ashlamusa. In that time, it was a hitznaitzitz of Lasilavo, the secret of David and Ben David, the secret of Mashiach Tzidkenu. In that time, there was also no Kabbalah of the Geirim. Elash na'asu Geirim Gerurim u'manichan tefillin v'reshayin v'tefillin v'zoreyin tzitzis b'bigdeyim mezuzah b'pechseihem. And they're all going to get ready. They're all going to do all of the mitzvahs necessary, up to and including the ability to actually being Megayer. Kavan Sharoy Melchemes Gog Magog, once they come to see the Melchama of Gog Magog that is emergent, they're going to come, they're going to say, what did you come here for? And the enemies at the gate are going to say, we came for Hashem and his Mashiach. They're all going to throw off and cast off that burdensome task of the mitzvahs, and they're going to run away from it. In the end, the nations of the world are going to try and let go of all of those tasks that they took upon themselves. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sitting on high and laughing. That in the future, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to sit in the secret of the Schleik the Yitzchak, and he's going to sit and he's going to laugh. Rabbi Yitzchak, specifically Rabbi Yitzchak Dafka, the Hilgatana Rabbi Yitzchak. Rabbi Yitzchak, Ein loy la HaKadosh Baruch Hu schleik ella oisai hayoim bilvad. HaKadosh Baruch Hu laughs finally on that day. Eini, is this true that that's the only time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to laugh? And that redemptive laughter of Geula Shlema, where it's v'nahapechu asher yishletu haYehudim hema b'seineihem, and all the concealment will be nisapech into a giloi, and all of the absent-mindedness will be revealed to be das, b'hiskashrus pnimius, and all of Gehenna will be transformed into Gan Eden and the Suda of the Levyason. Are you going to tell me that's the only day he's going to dance? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to laugh? The Ha'amar Rav Yehuda, the secret of Malchus, Rav Yehuda, who's the Bechin of David HaMelech, who's able to make that bracha on the coast of the Ayin, even though the Shirish of the Ayin comes from Rav Yitzchak. So just as the Rav Yitzchak Avinu gives the koyach to David Malka Mashiach and the secret of the Gevurus of Malchus and the Chazdei David and Amanim to make the bracha on the coast, so too when it comes to Rabbi Yitzchak saying HaKadosh Baruch Hu is only going to laugh once, and Rabbi Yehuda, who's the secret of Malchus and David, comes along and says, no, he's always going to laugh. Rabbi Yehuda Amar Rav, Rabbi Yehuda says the name of Rav, and Rav is Chachma and Bina, Reish is Chachma and Beis is Bina. So Malchus reveals herself through Chachma and Bina. Shtei Mesrei Sha'os Havayom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's day is 12 hours. Shloisha Rishonos HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yoshev V'Osek B'Torah. The first 3 hours of the day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sits and he learns Torah. Shnios Yoshev B'Danas Kol Ha'olam Kulo. In the second third of the day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sits and he judges the entire world. Kivan Sharayish and Eschayev Olam Kliya. He comes and sees inevitably that the world is in deserving of destruction. Oymin B'Kisei Hadin V'Yoshev Al Kisei Rachamim. He gets off of that kisei of din, which is the secret of the yayin without the mayim, and he sits on the chair of rachamim, which is the secret of rachamim rabim, which is the secret of mizug hamayim b'toich hayayin. Shlishios, in the third set of 3 hours, yoishev v'zan es ha-koil ha'olam kuloi mekarnei re'emim ad beitzei kanim. In the third set of hours, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives sustenance to the entire world, from the biggest to the smallest, from the most immense to the slowest and the most minimal. Revios, in the last fourth of those 3 hours, Yoishev u'masachek im Levyason. HaKadosh Baruch Hu finds pleasure in the secret of laughter with the Levyason. Shnei Amar, as the pasuk says, Levyason ze yetzarta l'sachek bo, that the purpose of the creation of Levyason was to be megala, the playfulness and the laughter at the heart of all things. Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Every Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak is mushrash in the Torah of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, and all of the Torah of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov is rooted in the secret of Rabbi Nachman bar Yitzchak, which is the secret of Rabbi Nachman by Simcha. Rabbi Nachman on his derech to Eretz Yisrael wanted to be called Isaac because that name contains Nachman and Yitzchak, because Nachamu, the secret of Nechama that comes about after the darkness is Gematria Yitzchak, and it's Dafka doubled Nachamu, because we have to look twice in order to uncover the secret laughter of Yitzchak. As Rabbi Nachman says, that no matter how insane the world gets, there's always somebody sitting at the bottom cracking up at it all. Like Yonah ben Amitai, he goes down to the bottom of the ship and he goes to sleep in moments of chaos, laughing. Omer of Nachman bar Yitzchak, Im Briyosav Mesachik. Over there, it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is laughing with his creation. Ve'al briyosav eina mesachik oisa hayom. So throughout all of the days, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is laughing with creation. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu has not yet laughed upon creation. The secret of the laughter with creation is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does every day. There's a hisnoitzitzutz of the tolerance that the Jewish people go through in exile. And the secret of the Shchinta Begalusa, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu has that knowing smile and that grin that we understand from the tzaddikim, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to us, I know already. It's been Rav Lachsheves V'yemek Habacha, and I know, and the only way to get through it is by laughing, and I'm laughing with you, says the Rebbeinu Shalom, but it's still a concealed laughter. But in the future, says Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Ba'al Briyosav Eina Mesachek Ela Oso Hayom Bilvad. But on that day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to laugh beyond creation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to be Megala, the V'tischak Liyom Macharo, not a laughter that is emergent from the need to tolerate, but rather a laughter that's going to be revealed of V'nahapachu, and the only way that it can be revealed is by that pivot point that exists outside of the system, Mashiach Tzidkenu, the Bechina of Karvel Nafshi Giyola. That pivot point that emerges out of the system to transform the system itself is that secret of Hippuch, where we can operate from complete concealment and suddenly reveal it to be fundamental revelation in the secret of Pitam Yavo El HaKodesh, that it's going to be sudden and immediate. That laughter upon creation, that revelation, that V'tischak Liyom Acharon of Mashiach Tzidkenu, that's the only time that it's going to happen. But we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu laughs with the Levyason each and every day. Amalei Rav Acha, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Rav Acha says, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Miyom shechorev Beis Hamikdash ein tzchok la'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Once the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, there's no more laughter by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Minola and delek tzchok. How do we know that there's no laughter? Amalei midachsiv v'yikra Hashem Elokim tzvos bayom hahu lebechi lemisbad lekarcha. Dil mahu yoim v'suloi alach v'sivim shkachi shleim tishkachi minita bak l'shainim lechikim lo'yizkerechi. So we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has already entered into a place of no longer laughing because of the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, and we stand anticipating that final day and that revelation of laughter, the laughter of Yitzchak, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to reveal suddenly that he's Al Briosov, that there's something Yesh Inyan Sheyitapecha Kol Letova, and that Inyan is the Levyason. Levyason is Gematria Malchus, we said. Levyason is Gematria Malchus, and I wish I couldn't find the Sefer. The Makor that most of what we're talking about is based on an Erech in Regel Yeshera, which is a Sefer, a Kabbalistic diary from the Baal B'nai Yisrael, Zchus Aleinu. And over there in Regel Yeshera, Be'erech Malchus, he has something in the name of the Ramah Mipano, and then an extension and a commentary on that Ramah Mipano. So Chaval, I couldn't find the Sefer before this year, so we're not going to read those words inside. But ultimately, what the Ramah Mipano and the understanding that the Regel Yeshera reveals to us is as follows: that prior to the Levyason representing Das, Levyason represents Malchus. Levyason is Gematria Malchus. Levyason represents that concealment of the sea, that not being able to see past the surface, that not knowing what danger lurks beneath, that inundation of water, that mayim b'mayim that negates any possibility of civilization and functionality, that fear that is emergent upon the water of Amar Oyev Erdoy Fasika Chalik, that entering into the water, into that place of concealment, Ukasha avadati, that place of going into Mayim and returning back to a place prior to creation with the negation of creation, that creates within itself a fear. There's no focused nature in the Mayim. Mayim is concealed. There's no ability of pointedness and attention and the ability to hold on to the razor sharp point of connectivity and kavana and intention and kavana salev. The secret of Levyasan is the secret of Das within the Mayim. The secret of Das within the Mayim, the ability to have Kivun Hadas, to have an Akuda Pnimius of Das, in spite of the fact that there's a Bilbul, Lamala, Lamata, Liyamin, Liyasmo. There's a Bilbul everywhere. Everything is Mubulbal, everything is mixed up, muddled up, everything is like being underwater. But nevertheless, each and every Yid has the possibility of uncovering that Nukuda Pnimius of Levyasan, the Nukuda Pnimius of Malchus, that Evan Hashasiyah, which seems so concealed and so hidden over by the never-ending floods of concealment and the Mabul. In that place, by being Megala, the Lev Hashemayim within the Yam, that Dabra Lev Yerushalayim, uncovering that secret heart of the sea that Yonah ben Amittai was capable of uncovering, that secret of Mikvah Tahara, that secret of finding the innermost point within the undoing of any possibility of points. In that place, when we connect to the Levyasan, we connect ourselves to the Sudas of the Levyasan, and we're able to be Mahapich, whatever scenario we're in, to Beis HaMikdash Mamish. That's the Suda of Levyasan. Zok the Heilig Ramah Mipano, that the tzaddikim in this world spend a lot of time trying to accomplish the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, trying to reveal the Elyonim, trying to laugh at reality, trying to reveal the light of Mashiach and the Or HaGanas and everything. And so too we try. We try to uncover the goodness, to live on the right side of things, to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to connect ourselves to the tzaddikim amitim, to learn the Torah HaKadosh, to daven, to have emunah, to have bitachon, to be metchazik ourselves, to eat bekavana, to daven bekavana, to sleep with kavana, to be our best selves, and to be megala kvod shemayim. But very often, as a result of being a human being and irreducibly limited as a result of being not God, and the unscrubbable chisaron that rests at the core of the neshama, which is the source of all hishtoikakus, there comes a time where that ruffles the plan, and we come to find that we can't have what we want spiritually. We can't gain what we want. We are not as refined spiritually as we thought that we were. We are not as connected. There's a moment of no das. There's a moment of not having connection. There's a moment of bilbul. There's a moment of yeyush. There's a moment of bilbul hamoichin and not knowing which way is up and which way is down, and lo yaduuti, and forgetting about HaKadosh Baruch Hu and forgetting about the innermost point of things. And that's the secret of the tzaddikim who want to accomplish the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but oinas rachmana pratre, that reality comes along and says, no, you can't pay attention all the time. You can't be connected. There's moments of absence. There's moments of limitation. There's moments of concealment. There's moments of meaninglessness. There's moments of fear and terror, etc., etc. And then there are other moments of connection, but in those moments, you can't reveal the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Comes the Ramah Mipano to say that the secret of the Suda of Levyasan is when all of the tzaddikim, all of the yidden are going to be sitting, and we're going to have all of the ritzonos and all of the ratzon, yirei of yas, and all of what we wanted, the best of who we were, all of the hope and the trust and the amun and the bitachon and the simcha and the yeshua and the nechama, all of those things that we know to be so fundamentally true. We live with that awareness of having not been able to live up to that. And we carry that burden. We carry that burden of those unaccomplished dreams. those unaccomplished moments of attentionality because we were inattentive and we were mindless and our heart wasn't with us. Zok the Heilige Ramami Pana, the Suda of Levyason, is when we will eat the maisim of those ritzonos that we held on to. It will be revealed to us that it was as if we accomplished the very thing itself by way of desire towards it. And that all of the oinas rachmana patre and all of the things that took us away from being able to reveal the best of ourselves in the ideal, attentive connectivity to the Nakuda Hadas Apnimi of Keser Elyon, of Binyan Beis Hamikdash, of Nechama, of Nachamu Ami, Yomer Aleichem, Dabru Alev Yerushalayim, to the innermost point of Lamed Beis Ntzivos Chachma, it will be revealed that Suda, that we were always there. Zeh Hashem Kivinu Lo. Zeh Hashem Kivinu Lo, as Rabbeinu says, Zeh Taka Sudam Got Habahir Gehip. This is HaKadosh Baruch Hu that I thought I grasped. In my concealment, he's revealing himself to be exactly that. And at that point, it's revealed that Hashem was laughing with us all along. All along, every day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Megala, the Schoik HaElyon of V'nahapachu, that wherever we are, it's exactly where we need to be, to bring Mashiach Tzedkenu, to bring about the Hisgalus of Dasa Amiti, to be Mechaber Shemayim and Aretz, and to tap into the Schoik HaElyon, to the Schoik of Yitzchak, to that secret third quadrant of the 3 hours a day, which the Balatanya and Rav Menachem and Mishklav both point out is the Zman of Mincha. That's the time of Yitzchak going out, Lifnois Arev, the secret of the darkening terrain, in order to reveal that Rav Lachsheves v'Yemek and the radical secret of the Geula of Yitzchak, and the secret of Nachamu, which is the Gematria of Yitzchak. And that's the Suda of Levyason. The Suda of Levyason, to one degree or another, is the eating of Das, to reveal that even when I didn't have Das, I had Das. Every single place that I was with you, Ribbon Shloim. Every single second of my existence, I'm with you. And even though we don't know how or why, because we're still operating in that discrepancy between Ratzon and Maisa, nevertheless, if we know that there's going to be a Suda that returns all of the Maisa back to the Ratzon HaElyon, which is being Mahapich, the Malchus herself, into the secret of Keser Elyon Olav Nikra, which is through the Hiskashus Apnimius of Das, so then we can already laugh. We might not be able to laugh with HaKadosh Baruch Hu when he laughs upon creation, but we can certainly laugh with HaKadosh Baruch Hu when he's Megala, the Hitznoitzes and the Oiris of Mashiach Tzidkenu into our consciousness on a regular, day-to-day, moment-to-moment experience through the Ruach HaKodesh that is entrenched within the heart of each and every Yid. It's going to be revealed that all of the things that we felt we missed were in truth part and parcel of the secret of connectivity. And all of the separation between the Levyason, Bereach, and the Levyason, Atlason, the female and the masculine expressivity of Das are going to be revealed to be part and parcel of revealing Tachlis Hayadiyah Shalei Neda. Tachlis Hayadiyah Shalei Neda. And this is the secret that the tzaddikim bring in the name of the Ramami Pano. And it's a Davar Yadua through all of the tzaddikim, that the only place that's going to be big enough, the only place that's going to be big enough to hold the Suda of Levyason, where each and every person is going to be able to say, Zeh Hashem Kivinu Lo, I'm realizing now, Hashem, that Gam Ki Elech Begeit Samaves Lo Irara Ki Ata Imadi, there has never been, there is never, and there will never be a moment in a person's existence that they are not fundamentally, inherently connected to the Nakuda, to the Nakuda Hapnimis of Emuna B'Taharaso, Lamala Mitam V'Das, in that innermost point of the heart, which is the secret of the Yechida Shabenefesh, which is the secret of Mashiach ben David, which is the secret of the Pintele Yid that's hidden within all of the external casings, the Ois Tes, the Aleph Beis, Ois Tes, the Zohar Kadosh says, is Tuhu Ganuz Begave, its goodness is hidden within it, it's that light that's concealed within Levyason, that still remains concealed, and it's cast off, but it's going to be revealed, and there's going to be a Hiskalus Hadas, of Laman Das, Kolameh Haaretz, Ki Hashem Elokim, and it's going to be revealed of Yamli Abasha, that we've been in the water all along, and V'yigdular of B'Karav Haaretz, and that only a Ben Dag is able to enter into Eretz Yisrael, like the Medrash says, and the Heilige Chozeh Melublin explained so beautifully in last week's Parsha, the secret of the Dag of Yoshua ben Nun, the secret of the Hamshacha of the Dag HaElyon of Moshe Rabbeinu into Eretz Yisrael, which is drawing down Moshe Rabbeinu's Das into the Suda of Levyason. Moshe Rabbeinu confronts the serpent, which is Paro, only to reveal the innermost point of the Levyason, which is the Das of Moshe Rabbeinu, which is Machaber us wherever we find ourselves, to partake of that Suda de Levyason, to laugh with the moment, to believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with me at every single moment, and Gam Ki Elech Begeit Samaves Lo Irara Ki Ati Imadi, and Gam Netzach Yisrael Lo Yishaker, and the secret of the Ostes and the Aleph Beis, where the goodness is hidden within. The Heilige Meshiloach says there's not a single ninth pasuk in the entirety of Tanakh that does not hold a profound secret, because the number 9, the Ostes, is the secret of the Nikud of Emes that's Meskala from within the Yesod itself, which is Or Zarua L'Tzadik U'L'Yishrei Lev Simcha, which is Roshei Teva, Sofei Tevos Rabbi Akiva, the secret of Nachamu Ami, Yomer Alekeichem is the secret of Rabbi Akiva's ability to intuit the secret of redemption and the laughter prior to the actual emergence of redemption itself, the laughter that comes about by way of the concealment, the laughter of Yitzchak Avinu. And in that place of Etitzchak Li'amacharim, we partake of the Suda, and it's only in Gehenna. Each and every person finds themselves in their own place in Gehenna. Each and every moment that a person feels devoid from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they're in Gehenna. There's no Gehenna greater than the pain that a person feels over the distance from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The moment that a person comes to the awareness that they weren't focused on the innermost point of Das in their hearts, to the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, runs the world, and in the end will reveal how every aspect of the world has never ever, even for the slightest perception of a second, left the absolute infinitude of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's infinite light, Kav and we're going to see how all of it was a game in order to reveal Nishmas Yisrael. And Lama'eni Asa, Lama'eni is the first Nachash Bareach, the second Lama'eni is the Nachash Aklason, the Das Elyon and the Das Tachyon, Lama'eni Asa, those two forms of Levyason, the Das Elyon and the Das Tachton, the Gilo of Chochmah and Bina within the Das of Keser, the Das Ne'elam, is going to give birth to that secret of Ya'aseh Lamachakalo, the secret of Hina Yaskil Avdi, that Mashiach Tzidkenu comes to be Megala in Olam Ha'asiyah Dafka, it's Hafach Lami Abasha, and in that place of the Suda of the Levyason, we can taste of the laughter, we can be mamtik, all of the dinim, ich kann in mamtik sein als, ich kann in mamtik sein als, as the tzaddikim amitim of our generation said, they can fix everything, everything can be fixed in the split second, even prior to time, take it from Yad Mamish, and that's the secret of the achila of Levyasan, the laughter of Yitzchak, the davening of Mincha, the entering into that silent place of confrontation with concealment and coming out victorious through the secret of laughter, v'tischak liyom acharon, the ability to find within the severity, find within every encounter of difficulty, the fact that all it is the gvuros that are perpetually in the process of being nimtak, and that's why we're going to have to salt the Levyasan, because salt, the bris of melach, is the bris that's given to the mayim tachtonim. Originally, the world was mayim b'mayim; it was inundated with water. Mayim elyonim of chachma, mayim tachtonim of bina. There was no separation because everything was mechubar b'tachlis achibor, and there was also no room for messing up, but there was no room for enjoying the pungent odor of the tzike kedera that come about by way of the yichud tata of the baruch shein kavod malchus l'lamvoed of the hoidu lashem kitov kilam chasta, which is the song of Levyasan, which only comes about after a sense of distance and then returning back to a place of unity, like Yehuda and Yosef, who come out of concealment to reveal the secret of Mashiach Tzidkenu. That's the secret of the Mayim Tachtonim. The Mayim Tachtonim decided that we are willing to descend down away from the face of HaKadosh Baruch Hu so that there could be a playing field of Bechira. And then by the Simchas B'Sashoeva, by the Sukkah of the Oru Shel Levyasan, the Sukkah is made out of the skin, the externality of the Malchus herself. That's the place where all of the Gilui of L'Asid Lavo is going to be. And in that place of the Sukkah and the Oru Shel Levyasan, what we're going to come to recognize by the Nisach HaMayim, the Mayim Tachtonim want to come out as well. And by the Simchas Beis HaShoeva, only David HaMelech, who understood the secret plumbing of the Beis HaMikdash, had the ability to make a bracha al kos yayin male. He understood the process of transferring fluid from one place to another, and the secret of connecting the Mayim Elyonim and the Mayim Tachtonim, and the Mayim Tachtonim with the Mayim Elyonim. And in that place, David HaMelech, when everybody else was dancing by the Simchas Beis HaShoeva, David Malka Mashiach was in the basement of the Beis HaMikdash, davening the Tesva of Shir Malos to ensure that the inundation of the Mayim Tachtonim was not going to ascend upwards and reveal Or Ein Sof, Mei Ein Sof, the infinite waters of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kavyachol, the infinitude and the expressivity of Mayim b'Mayim. And David Malka Mashiach understood the secret of separating those two waters. But there's a bris melach that's made in order to ensure that because Mayim Tachtonim have gone away from the face of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and all of our Maisim feel so devoid of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we're stuck in the stuckness of feeling that we're stuck, and we don't feel that illumination and the laughter of Mashiach Tzidkenu. And so we find ourselves operating in a state of Mayim Tachtonim. And the state of Mayim Tachtonim is Mayim Tachtonim Boichim. The very natural state is the Mayim Tachtonim are crying, Annan Ba'inan Lama'ave Kadma Malka. We want to also see the face of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We also want to taste of the Levyasan. We also want to see Binyan Beis HaMikdash. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm going to give you the bris of melach, the bris of salt, because salt is something that's going to bring out the taste of something. It's an act of severity that reduces the water in order to reveal a sharper taste, the pungency, that Sike Kedera of Baruch Shein Kavod Malchus L'Lamvoed, the melach that is that hamtakas adinim b'sharasham, that through an act of severity in his kapsas, it brings out more of a giloy. In the secret of toiv, ma'oid. Ma'oid is negativity that forces the positivity to refine itself in order to show that it contains within itself even its opposite, which is negativity, and that's only through the salt, which is why the secret of salting the Levyasan after the shchita of Levyasan, which will take place through the encounter with the Shor Habar and the Levyasan, that's going to be the place of hamtakas adinim b'sharasham, of drawing everything back up to the secret of Evan Masu Abanim Haisler Rosh Pina, reflected in that pillar of salt that rests in stone, and that secret of V'nahapechu, that Matzatzi David Avdi Bestoim, I found David Avdi in that place of Sodom where it appears that everything is muhupach and there's no chesed bechlal. In that place secretly where Moitzi, the neshama of Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef, mitoicha afecha, and the two malachim came down to the world to teach two things. They came to say that Yitzchak HaTzadik was going to be born, and they came to announce that Sodom and Amorah were going to be destroyed, because with the Gilu of Yitzchak Avinu comes about the destruction of Jewish people's enemies and all of the concealment in the world. And there's going to be a Mahapecha Gedoyla and the V'tislak Yom Acharon, and the beginning of the process of eating from the Suda of the Levyason. Be'ezras Hashem, what we're going to talk about next week as we complete this shlav of the Levyason is on a practical level what this means. Again, we're going to make recourse to the Leshem Shuvah V'Chaloma's depiction of the nature of Levyason, representing the actual framework of our own thinking minds and our relationship between our body and our mind, and our relationship with eating, and our relationship with hope, and becoming fish that walk, and human beings that can swim, and the connectivity of the secret of the Yiddu Larov, and entering into Eretz Yisrael, and building that secret of uncovering the Nakuda of Levi within each and every one of us. And the Levi, like the Rambam says, has the ability to live in the watery, endless space of wisdom, because the Levi is the secret of Luka Hasamim, is the secret of Moshe Rabbeinu, who has the ability to be mamtik, the dinim of Amalek, only Moshe Rabbeinu. And we're going to see how the Suda of the Levyasan, the connectivity and the das that we hold on to, even when we're not in a state of das, is going to bring us to experience the closing part of the Suda of Levyasan, and to learn how to daven for it, Be'ezras Hashem.